I'm going to get them doors open if it hairlifts everybody on Bear Creek.
The Teleflex drive cable must be sheared away.
Fire the explosive bolt!
All right. Oh, the phone is ringing. Hold on. That was NASA. They still don't have a real picture of Earth, I called. But anyway, this is One Eye Jack's part 55, transmitting from inside my volcanic lair. And this is going to be a crazy video because we're going to go into some areas that are just freaky. So let's start this by doing something. Hold on. All right, we're going to watch this short scene right here.
Hi, Lloyd. Been away, but now I'm back.
Good evening, Mr. Torrance. It's good to see you.
It's good to be back, Lloyd.
What'll it be, sir?
Hair of the dog that bit me.
Bourbon on the rocks.
So Jack says he wants Hair of the Dog, and we have Nazareth, the rock band, Scottish rock band, and their song Hair of the Dog. Here we have the Sidewinder footage, and we clearly, it's Serpentine. He's weaving his way up to the overlook. This is the film shots that were shared with Ridley Scott. So the end of Blade Runner is the beginning of The Shining. So this is the beginning. He's going up the Sidewinder. We see the mirrored lake, and I don't think my PC can do all this at the same time, so I'm going to pause this. So that's the Sidewinder footage. So we have Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, Jack Nicholson, Hair of the Dog. He repeats it. And let's go to the photos. Oops. Let's minimize this one. So here is one of Nazareth's albums, Nazareth, Snakes and Ladders. Here's Nazareth album, Hair of the Dog. So here we have Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, Nazareth, Snakes and Ladders, an album they do, with a picture of a Sidewinder snake on the cover. And we know this because it leaves its telltale Sidewinder tracks. This is the back of the album. It has a picture of a snake and a ladder and a sun and some dice. Snake eyes would be my guess. And then we have the scene that's cut out of The Shining. So once again, we're always looking for what's missing. So what's missing? The scene that's cut off the end of the movie is released with the scene in the film canister, and it's cut out after the film's released. So Kubrick keeps doing this. Like Kennedy gets killed, he retracts the movie the day he dies, and he cuts out Dallas and changes it to Vegas. So The Shining is released, and the day it's released, he makes a rash decision, supposedly, and he decides to cut this whole 20-minute section off the end of the movie. And during this 20-minute section, Danny goes to the hospital, and he plays Snakes and Ladders with the nurse. So Snakes and Ladders is this game right here. And, it has numbers 1 to 100 and a repeating color pattern that just repeats over and over and over again. So I think what we're seeing here is these are clues to how to decode his secret color puzzle. But it doesn't really matter because it ties into Nazareth, hair of the dog. This is hair of the dog, Lloyd, hair of the dog that bit me. So this is Kubrick giving you, hold on. So that's Kubrick's little joke here. And let's look at this clue. We're given Nazareth. This is the birthplace of Jesus. We're given hair. Hair is already a clue set in. We have the sea hare, rock, and it goes, the gin chairs, which is a sea hare. You have the redheads. You have the muffly merkin. Hair is a whole category. And then you have the dog. So we have a dog, the hair category, Nazareth, the birthplace of Christ. This is our biblical thread. We have a snake, so that fits our Apollo simulation project, our Bruce boa, our Alex's boa, our M16 Bushmaster, our Georgia black snake. Dorian Harewood, Jungle Bunny, says, "Oh, it's a fine example of a Georgia black snake." Or I'm sorry, Alabama. It could be. I'm afraid. Geez, I don't remember. I think it's Alabama black snake. Either way, it's a black snake, and of course you have the catcher in the rye grass snake, and so it fits our snake category. It fits a dog category. It fits the hair category. It fits the biblical category. Their album record company is Vertigo, which is a Hitchcock movie. Hitchcock's already in the puzzle with Birds and Psycho, which is Jamie Lee's mom. And it fits our games threads because remember there's always a game behind everything. That we have the baseball and the football and the basketball and the hockey and the tennis and the ping pong and the croquet and so we have to have a game, so it fits our games thread, and we know this, and we know we're looking for snakes and ladders because he gives us snakes and ladders. This is what's missing. It's not in the movie. It's been taken out. So, it's a clever Kubrickian little thing here. So let's just look at some more stuff. So this is the Kubrick's. Now you're messing with the son of a bitch. You know what this is now. This is the Indiana Jones Well of the Souls. It turns out that the Colorado Lounge burns down for real. The actual set burns down. So these fire clues that I keep mentioning that run through Kubrick's puzzle, they're woven into the actual events of the filming of the movie. This set that was the Colorado Lounge burns down, and this is the picture of Kubrick laughing in front of the set after it's burned down with all the twisted steel, becomes the Well of the Souls for Raiders of the Lost Ark. So the Well of the Souls is filled with snakes, and Harrison Ford gets lowered down there, and he says, "I hate snakes." So we're seeing snakes and raiders. You get the boas and the Apollo simulation project. Here we have the Timberline Lodge snowcat. And I noticed something the other day that I forgot to mention. Let me close these out. I got enough pictures on the screen already. So the Well of the Souls turns into the snake pit. And the snake and the ladder. So let me. I'm not even explaining the punchline. So the snake and the ladder it's the Apollo simulation project, and Neil Armstrong descends the ladder, and he jumps for the last 3 feet. So he says, "Oh yeah, it's about a 3-footer, coming off the ladder." So the snake is the Apollo simulation project. The ladder is Neil Armstrong's ladder that he jumps off of. I'm looking for the other Tucker snowcat here. Let me close these. Let me pause this. All right, this is what I wanted to show. If you look at these two vehicles, you'll notice that this is the standard Snowcat, Tucker Snowcat. This is not a standard Tucker Snowcat. This is a special Tucker Snowcat. Just like the Kennedy limo that had been extended to make more room for the rear seats, which don't have doors. So this is, once again, it's a specialty constructed vehicle. I had missed that in earlier earlier videos. So 3 of these vehicles were made. If you look into the Adams Probe 15, there were only 3 Adams Probe 15s ever made, and then they all changed to the Adams 16. And so once again, it's a specialty constructed vehicle, and it's handmade, and this is the Vivian Fuchs Trans-Antarctic Crossing, and it's a snow cat. This is where we're gonna go into the freaky category now. Yeah, there's the Sidewinder. So you know the snake that we see on the Nazareth album is a Sidewinder. Kubrick says build better wings. So here we are in the UFO TV show, and this is Ed Bishop's car, Straker. And let me show you something about this. This is interesting. It has gull wings, of course, you know, so we're building better wings. So the DeLorean isn't the first car that they have in the puzzle that has gull wings on it. This is clearly the way before the DeLorean, which was, oh. All right, I guess we'll go into the Playboy Playgirl. This is another thing I've noticed too. You know, so they're going to the Sidewinder, and we have the lens flares. You know, we must supply our own light. So so if you look at the Apollo photography and the Apollo imagery, you'll notice this repeating multiple lens flare. You know, he got really good at producing the lens flares where he wanted them. So when you look at the Apollo photos, you'll notice there's always lens flares all over them. It's another fire clue. All right. Here's another clue. You know, so we have Buffalo Bill, Billy Shears, Billy Shepherd. So a Billy is a goat, a shepherd is a guy that has sheep, and a ram is a sheep. You know, so the shepherd clue for Billy Shepherd, Willie Pepper. You know, he's hammering it home. He's the winged beetle. Here I am. I've got the wings. So the name of his album is Ram. You know, and he has Billy painted on his base. So here's the Antarctica 1. It's always 1 in this puzzle. Antarctica 1. This is the Red Terror. This is the when we have the crushed red beetle and the Shining. This is the crushed red beetle. So this is the first production car that was successful in Antarctica, and it was called the Red Terror, and it was red, and it's a beetle, and it's Antarctica 1. It's another mention of, you know, Star Trek was the wagon train to the stars, so, you know, covered wagon times. This goes back to the episode The Cage. Hold on here. We're almost there. All right, so let's go into the Playboy clues, because I know we've gone over these before, but the next category I'm going to go into relies heavily on this repetition of these Playboy clues. So here we are on, I believe, Apollo 12, and they inserted Playboy models into the mission logs. So let's take a look at this. So it isn't one photo. It's bunches of them. Oh. Here's another one with a hand drawn, and he's overheating, and he looks like he's melting and dying. And don't forget to describe the protuberances. And we have, you know, Charlie Brown and Snoopy over here. This is the Charlie Brown and Snoopy capsules on this mission. So this is the Charlie Brown Peanuts, Charles Schultz. And this is really clever. You know, it has happy birthday. And so this is another birthday clue and a Playboy clue and it's in an Apollo mission log. So we have the log cabin, we have the log cabin times, we have the Collins axe, we have John Carpenter, we have Woody Strode, we have drills they used on Apollo, we have the hammer drop and the falcon feather. A falcon feather would be a pen. So we got these. So now we're going to go into. So Jack reads Playgirl when he gets to the Overlook. And I probably don't have a picture of that. Let me find that. So here Jack is. He's reading Playgirl. And of course, it's the January 1st, New Year's edition of Playgirl. So this is the Danny Lloyd clue, the J.D. Salinger clue, the New Year's holiday clue. So let's get this. So there's another Playgirl clue. So we notice in our puzzle we're jumping into the movie Rocky with several different ways, but we follow the Steadicam into Rocky with Garrett Brown. We hop with it's a vehicle, remember. So we go through the Steadicam into the movie Rocky. So Rocky is a Playgirl model. We're jumping into the movie Smokey and the Bandit. So it turns out Burt Reynolds is a Playgirl. We have clues into Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate was in Playgirl. Remember what we're doing? You know, we have jacks and hares. We have bucks and does. We have stallions and mares. So we're using every available channel on Kubrick's television set. Oh, this is the Well of the Souls with the snakes and everything. This isn't part of the Playboy thing. So here's more of the Playboy. Here we go. This is interesting. This is Pink Floyd, and of course they're on. Columbia is the first U.S. ship to circumnavigate the globe. Columbia is Kubrick's Columbia University pictorials with Betsy von Furstenberg and her woven wicker hat. Columbia is the name of the Apollo 11 CSM. Columbia is the name of the picture company that made 2001: A Space Odyssey. Columbia is also the District of Columbia, the entity that was designed to empty your wallet. So Columbia is a lot of different things. And of course, Lou Gehrig goes to Columbia, and Betsy von Furstenberg goes to Columbia. So Columbia is a nexus clue. And so this is Pink Floyd. And we see a song here, Careful with That Axe, Eugene. We have a category of Eugenes and eugenics. You have Eugene Krantz and Eugene Roddenberry and Norma Jean Baker, which is Marilyn Monroe. I Dream of Jeannie, the Gin chairs, which are Jeannie's chairs. So we have a category of Eugenes already. Eugene Tooney, the boxer. So careful with that axe, Eugene. This is interesting. So I mean, does it prove anything? No, but it's. So let's go back to the Playgirl. So it's looking like Van Halen is it? And Back to the Future, Marty plays his Eddie Van Halen tape. So and he's Diamond Dave. So we have the Pink Panther diamond and the Heart of the Ocean diamond and Shine On You Crazy diamond. So here's a link. They're showing you that all these Playboy bunnies were in the Apollo missions. Here's Sharon Tate. This is the Vampire Killers with Sharon Tate, and she's in her birthday suit. So birthday suits are a clue. And she's hugging the snowman. So we have snow globe, snow cat, cat lady, and snowman. This is funny. It has nothing to do with this, but it's pretty funny. First it was the ice bucket, then it was twerking, fidget spinners. If you start using your brain, that'd be great. I love that movie. I quit my job. I watched that movie. I was working in the corporate meat grinder. And I went out and I saw that movie one night, and 2 days later I quit my job. That's a true story. Anyway, so here she is in The Vampire Killer. She's clearly has no problem with nudity. Here's if you look down here, we have guest stars Don Adams, blah, 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 director Roman Polanski, and his actress wife Sharon Tate. So they were hanging out at the Playboy After Dark park. So she's a Playboy bunny. I'm vaccinated, but unless you get your shots, mine won't work. I love that one. That's a really good one. Mine, people don't like to listen to that one. And if she's in a bathtub, of course, and she's hugging a snowman, there's a Smokey the Bear hat I talked about in the last video. She was expecting a baby, so when she was murdered, when Barry Ullman says, "Oh, he killed his wife and two girls," it was his wife and their two girls. So this is a M16 Bushmaster in the Blues Brothers, and that's Princess Leia. So that's interesting. So Mick Jagger, he's in the puzzle. He's born the same day Kubrick is. He's a Rolling Stone. So you have Kubrick's Rolling Stone interviews. He's in a movie Free Jack about time travel, and he's a Sir. He's Sir Mick. So he's in the Mickey category. You have Mickey Spillane, Mickey Mantle, Mickey Mouse. Oh God, I'm gonna lose it now. But anyway, he's in the Mickey category. And here's Brolin. He's in Capricorn 1. So he's a Playgirl. I mean, at some point, we're not just finding random people. We're finding people and male stars that are in Playgirl are a lot more rare than female. Did Burt Reynolds really need the money to go into Playgirl? No. So why is he in there? And there's Fall. He's in Playgirl too. So he's in her puzzle. There's Kurt Russell. He's in The Thing. He wears the Woody Strode high jumper hat from Sergeant Rutledge, a John Ford movie. And of course, it's a mirror of Napoleon's hat. And he drinks Jim Beam whiskey in the movie. And he swings a Collins axe. I went through this movie earlier. So the movie The Thing is a connection to Antarctica. We know that already. So we see the Norg chopper, which is a clue to the Vivian Fuchs Norg airship, and the Norwegian base, which would be the Robert Falcon Scott Roald Amundsen base. So he's in Playgirl. This is a clue, when they go and they do the Falcon Feather Hammer drop on Apollo 15, the mission that launches on Stanley's birthday. They talk about Galileo. So this is the first shuttlecraft that's seen in Star Trek, is the Galileo. She was also in Beverly Hillbillies. I didn't know that. She played the bank teller or something in it. This is Sharon Tate. Doesn't look like it, but it is. So let's get these Playgirl and Playboy bunnies out of the way. So we have serious repetition here. It isn't one. It isn't two. It's a bunch of them. And some of them are in Playgirl multiple times. Why is James Brolin in Playgirl? That's an odd career decision, So we have Playgirls, Playboys. This is interesting. She's hugging the snowman. Diamond Dave. Playboy in the logs. Burt Reynolds. Rocky. So he's Sylvester. He's a Looney Tune. He's Stallone. He has Stall, Lone, and One in his name. He plays a boxer. It's filmed with a Steadicam. And he's the Italian stallion. So we have a nationality Italian. We have a horse stallion. We have a Looney Tunes cat, Sylvester, and he's in Playgirl. So he fits every. And another thing I wanted to mention in this movie, and I should have got a clip of it, but the princess's name in the Minotaur myth. And let me pause this and I'll bring it up and I'll show you it. So in the movie Rocky, when Rocky he's all messed up and he's calling to Adrian, but he doesn't really. It doesn't even sound like he's saying Adrian. It's almost like he's saying this name right here. That's what it sounds like. So is he really doing that? I don't know, but I noticed that the other day, and I'm like, I wouldn't doubt it, because he's trying to clue into Kubrick's puzzle. So that makes sense. He doesn't really say Adrian. He goes, Adrian, and he's the marble mouth. That's another one. He's got the marble mouth. So it's the blue marble mouth. And so let's get rid of these. Let's move these aside. So now we're going to go into the crazy stuff. So there's Sharon Tate. She's in Playboy. She's nude in their movie in a bathtub in her birthday suit. She hugs the snowman. Jack reads Playgirl. This is the New Year's Day edition of Playgirl. This is a holiday clue. So we have numerous holiday clues. We have Happy Birthday, Dear Jesus. That's Christmas. You have the Easter eggs that we're finding. That's Easter. And you have the first day at the Overlook is Halloween. You have April 15th is Jackie Robinson Day. The day Lincoln dies. The day the Titanic sank. We got some gull wings here. All right, so you've seen the Playboy and Playgirl, and and I didn't even have Marilyn Monroe in here, so there's another one. There's more of these. I probably did better in the previous go around with the Playboy. Oh yeah, here's another one, Playgirl. So he's a Johnny. He plays Vincent in Pulp Fiction. So we got Vincent Forrestal, and a Vincent is also a motorcycle, which I haven't even gotten into that category yet. And by the way, so he's in Pulp Fiction. What happens to him in Pulp Fiction? He gets shot on the toilet, just like Pyle. I mean, by Bruce Willis, the man that's married to Demi Moore, who is after Conrad Hilton. Demi Moore is the most famous Roswell resident. She was born in Roswell. So if you want to talk about the most famous people in Roswell, New Mexico, it's Conrad Hilton and Demi Moore. And he was married to her, so that's interesting as well. And he drives, Zed's chopper. Zed's dead. So now we're going to get into the real freaky area here. So we have all these Playgirl bunnies, and we find out that the ship, the Leon, the Eldridge, USS Eldridge, was renamed the Leon, and it ends up in the Greek edition of Playboy. And they have pictures of the ship, and they discuss like, oh, this is the ship allegedly used in the time travel, blah blah, or the teleportation, blah blah blah. So that is really bizarre because we have a Greek connection, we have a ship connection, we have a military ship connection, no less. We have a connection to Project Rainbow, and we have a connection to Playboy. So that's pretty interesting. Let's move this aside. Let's jump into the movie They Live. And on this bookshelf back here, I mean, all these books we can see here are clues. We have tennis, that's in our puzzle. We have golf, that's in our puzzle. I can't even read half of these over here. This is Cher, Sonny and Cher. So on this bookshelf over here, we have Edgar Cayce on ESP, Two of a Kind, The Hillside Strangler, and The Bermuda Triangle by Charles Berlitz. So let's move this out of the way. So here's the hang on. Oh, move that down. Sorry. So here's the book. Here's this book, Charles Berlitz, The Bermuda Triangle. Two of a Kind, The Hillside Strangler. So we're playing cards. We're making pairs, three of a kind, flushes, full house, royal flush. So this is a story of serial killers, and apparently there were two of them. And so this is a book about it. Let's move this out of the way. So this is the one in the middle. Oh, this is this one right here. Two of a kind. And then the top one is Edgar Cayce on ESP. So let's close this and this. So we have Charles Berlitz and the Bermuda Triangle, right front and center, right above us here. So Charles Berlitz was also famous for writing another book called The Philadelphia Experiment, and it was co-written by William L. Moore, Billy Moore. Moore is a projection as well. Moore is a projection, and he's a Billy. So we have this, and we already have Charles Berlitz, and he's talking about the Bermuda Triangle, and we found out recently through the pedophile Podesta that we got to see some of his personal emails where he was discussing the fact that we have airplanes that are circling around Bermuda with special equipment on them to detect when the UFOs break the surface of the water and they leave their base that's in the Bermuda Triangle. So all these mysterious disappearances of ships and boats and planes and everything else in the Bermuda Triangle is not a mystery. It's not a myth. It really happens. And actually, Columbus was one of the first people to see UFOs in the Bermuda Triangle, and he talks about it in his logs. So we have a connection to They Live and Charles Berlitz, the Bermuda Triangle, ESP, and Two of a Kind. So we got Two of a Kind here. This is a Charles Berlitz book. This is a Charles Berlitz book over here. The ship is in Playboy. Here's a interview. I just took a small excerpt of it. It's an interview with John Carpenter, and he very frequently chain smokes in his interviews. So he's a chain smoker. He's in our puzzle already because he directs Halloween, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, and she plays Laurie Strode. So we already have Woody Strode, the high jumper, because we're talking about Admiral Byrd and the high jump. So he puts Laurie Strode in the movie, and the name of the movie is Halloween, the first day at the Overlook. So he's doing his interview here, and you see, it's UFO cover up is here, and that, he's an alchemist. If he's going to do an interview, he's going to put books out that are, alchemical here. So we have that one, and it says UFO crash at Roswell. So, isn't that interesting? Here's a scene from Barry Lyndon. And little Brian, it's his birthday, so they give him a magic show. Or actually, no, I don't think it's his birthday here, but they give him. It may be though. I'll have to check on that. It's not the birthday where he dies, but they do a magic show for him, and the magician tells him, all the colors of the rainbow produce but one color, Brian. So here's a rainbow clue, and of course, in Eyes Wide Shut, you have "Don't you want to go over the rainbow?" And then Tom Cruise says, "Well, that depends on where that is." And then you have Over the Rainbow Fashion Shop and Under the Rainbow. Under the Rainbow is a clue to The Little People. There was a movie called Under the Rainbow. And so that's one of the clues to Little People. But it's another rainbow clue. So the name of this experiment was Project Rainbow. That's what they were trying to make it invisible, and they actually found something else. Teleportation or time travel. I don't really know what it is, but... So we have a ship, the Aldrin is a ship class, the Armstrong is a ship class, the Collins is a ship class. We have Admiral Byrd's ship, the Olympus. We have the Olympic and the Titanic. We have Robert Falcon Scott's ship, the Discovery. This is what the ship in 2001: A Space Odyssey is named after, the Discovery. So we have a whole category of ships, so now we got a ship. So yeah, it fits the ship category. It fits the rainbow category. It fits the Playboy category. It fits the Greek category because it's in the Greek Playboy. It's renamed. It's the same ship, but it's renamed. The Olympic, the keel is bent on the Olympic. So they rename it the Titanic and sink it. So this thing does its little time travel thing or whatever it does. They rename it the Leon. They don't want anybody to know it's the USS Eldridge. So they rename it the Leon, and it's in Playboy. And that's Project Rainbow. And we have John Carpenter with his UFO books behind his head. We got the book that is in the author that's in the movie They Live. Another book he does. One is on the Bermuda Triangle, one is on the Philadelphia experiment. Two of a kind. And in They Live, they wear polarized sunglasses. So it's another polar. So here we have Wendy, and she's wearing her Southwestern styled jacket. And we can clearly see there's a cactus here. So we're not in New Jersey on this jacket. We're not in Colorado. We're in Mexico, and we have a little Mexican man, and he's resting underneath the cactus and taking a nap. So we're pointed to Mexico with this one jacket here, and we have a little Indian teepee over here. It looks like. If somebody knows more about this jacket, let me know, because there's writing on it in places. It looks like. So we have another time travel thread. We had connections into H.G. Wells, a redhead. We had connections into Malcolm McDowell. Here's another Playgirl. Forgot Harrison Ford. So he's in The Fugitive, and he plays Dr. Kimball. So in 2001: A Space Odyssey, Dr. Kimball's in stasis. Dr. Kimball is looking for the one-armed man, so it fits right into the puzzle. His last name is Ford. We have dozens of Fords. We have the Mustang and the Falcon and the Pinto and the Bronco, and John Ford, the one-eyed director, and so he fits right in. And he plays Dr. Kimball, so he's a doctor, he's a Ford, and he's clearly alchemical, and he's a Playgirl. And that's it for 56, I think this is. I have to check. I'm not even sure. Here's another. Okay, so Slim Pickens has his line. Let me pause this for a second.
The teleplex drive cable must be sheared away. Fire the explosive bolt!
So Slim Pickens also does the explosive bolt thing in 2001 in Doctor Strangelove. Then we have the explosive bolts in 2001: A Space Odyssey. And of course, we have the explosive bolts in the NASA moon missions, which they explode them right before the LEM takes off from the moon. So, we have a repetition of explosive bolts. So, what are explosive bolts? Bolts is the category of nuts and bolts, which would be Samuel Phillips, the NASA head for all the Apollo moon missions. It would be he's nutty. He's got a screw loose. And of course, the 3M bolts of 3M Scotch-Lite fabric. And all the weaving threads that are throughout the entire puzzle. We're weaving and using the one-eyed needle to knit these things together. And he's giving us just it's the doors of perception. He's giving us just barely enough to connect the dots for each individual thread. But then once you find a repeating thread, like the Playgirl Playboy thread, it doesn't really matter that they're barely there because there's so many of them. So this is one of the explosive bolts. I wanted to show that one. And of course, Slim Pickens with the explosive bolts. And that's it, guys. And I'm noticing a lot more people watching these videos and a lot more people who know what they're talking about responding. So that's really good news. Got a lot of shiners out there. And carpe diem.